Yesterday I was watching the final round of the Music City Open live, and during that whole last 9 holes, I just kept thinking, man, how are people who watch Jomez going to be able to actually get the full effect of these last 9 holes like live coverage? And honestly got me thinking a little bit that Jomez might be dead, but that's a little bit hyperbolic of a statement. So I kind of want to ask the question, is Jomez dying? Is it still going to be around in the current iteration within the next couple years, honestly? So today I want to play 18 holes here at Valmont Disc Golf Course, hopefully shoot a good round, but talk about the state of live and post-production, because I think disc golf media is in a very interesting place right now. Also, this video is brought to you by Flippy Disc Golf, makers of some of the coolest and most comfortable apparel in the game. More about them later. Hole 1, 192. I think his first 7 are all pretty short, so glitch it is. Keep turning, buddy. Dang. Now, on my local Denver disc golf Facebook group, I saw someone who was making a joke about Jomez. They're like, hey, I miss the old Jomez when they would cover the winners, people who actually won the tournaments, because there have been 4 Elite Series this year, which are the only tournaments that Jomez covers. They don't do silver events, and 3 winners have come from the chase card. And honestly, that's where one of the big limitations of post-produced coverage comes in, because as the parity of the field is increased, for instance, there were 11 people within 1 stroke of the lead after the first round at Music City Open. You don't really get the feel of that. And normally on lead card, not all 4 people are gonna be on lead card the next day, or they're not gonna get first, second, third, fourth, especially this year. Up the hill, interesting little wind, probably get freaky, little flex forehand up high. Great shot. Obligatory glitch shot because it's under 200 feet. And I know that there are people who are covering at least the first 2 cards. I know Jomez does the lead card, and I think Gatekeeper Media does the chase card. But with the Disc Golf Network being able to cover it live, you can kind of build those storylines in. But when you're following every single shot from 4 people, you're probably going to be following all the shots from someone who's not really in a main storyline anymore. No, I don't know the solution to any of this. I just think it's an interesting problem that we're facing as our sport is growing and more people are getting better and better. So it's not just the 4 people on the lead card make up the podium plus 1 other random spot. And I haven't watched, honestly, a ton of Jomez coverage in the past little bit because I've just been watching live what to me is a slightly superior product in the moment, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But first, Valmont, there's always big cards, so there's 15 people in 1 card ahead of me. So I want to take this time to really thank Flippy Disc Golf, the sponsor of today's video. They make hats, jerseys, which are customizable, but just their stock ones, just like this one and a bunch of other ones, have really fun designs, and they're moisture wicking and very comfortable. I wish you could kind of feel this right now. This and their hoodies are some of the most comfortable things that I've worn, especially their hoodies. And I know it's 70 degrees right now and sunny, so beautiful out. Definitely no need to wear a hoodie, but if you've seen any videos where it's not been this way, you've probably seen me wearing a Flippy hoodie, my white or my black one, because they're probably the most comfortable hoodies that I've ever worn. They run slightly big, not a crazy amount, kind of a half size up. So I wear a medium normally, this is a medium, and I've got a medium there, and it's probably a half size big, but very comfortable because of that. They also do custom runs, and you've probably seen them work with people like Foundation and Swanky Disc Golf, as well as a lot of colleges, and you've probably seen that at the College and Disc Golf National Championships if you watched any of that coverage. They have in-house graphic design teams and no order minimums if you want to do any custom runs. So my link down in the description will get you 10% off, as well as my code BODANZA, so go ahead and use that at Flippy Disc Golf. And I especially love these little dad hats and stuff like that. As the sun's coming out a little bit more, be able to wear more of these than the beanies, which is definitely a big win. Thank you so much, Flippy Disc Golf, for always sponsoring my channel, being the first sponsor that I've ever had. Let's get on to hole number 3 and talk a little bit more about this Jomez versus DGN action. All right, basket is straight ahead there. I kind of want to try to pipe a forehand up there, but definitely the play at 162 feet is just a hyzer with my little zony boy. Kind of like that, and see if we can pipe that little gap. Get it. Most of that is only for week of coverage, because if I could just turn on DGN after looking at UDIS to see what the scores are, I don't really have a need to watch Jomez because they'll probably recap it while I'm watching the live coverage for the 3 hours that it's on or something. Live coverage definitely isn't perfect though, and there's a lot more that we need to talk about both Jomez and DGN. Oh, I missed the Mando. Hit something and stay out. Oh, dang it. Oh, gross. Now, one interesting thought with all this is that this will lead to some sort of consolidation with the Disc Golf Network buying Jomez and Gatekeeper Media and maybe Central Coast, who does a lot of Silver Series coverage. And honestly, that would make a little bit of sense, especially because they'd probably be able to put out a better post-produced product. The DGN post-produce that they put out in the past has not been great, so hopefully they come to some agreement where Jomez and Gatekeeper can continue the production. But 144 feet straight ahead of us. I don't know why I'm trying to throw my putting putters. I mean, this is obviously a glitch chase. Oh, so deep, jeez. I know that already basically all the cameras on the ground are technically DGN cameras, because I actually look into eventually if I want to make it to a Pro Tour event or maybe even onto the Pro Tour, what does it take for media credentials like filming so I can bring you guys content there. It looks like it's a glitch air bounce shot actually. I'm not Simon. And I actually have a buddy here in Denver who works with either Jomez or DGN or maybe both, but the cameras are technically DGN cameras. Basket straight through there. And they just do a lot of SD card sharing. Stay on turn. Oh, good park job though. And when I was looking into getting media pass, I was also talking with Mikey from Overthrow Disc Golf, who does some stuff with Paul Macbeth. In the round, basically, if a Jomez camera, Gatekeeper camera, or DGN camera, they're like, you cannot have a camera out. Maybe you can use like just an iPhone with no external anything on it, which is probably how I would end up doing a lot of content. But one of the things that I definitely noted was that all of your footage, I think, was technically property of the DGN, since it's at their event. Which personally, I don't like those type of IP restrictions. I'd rather just own all my stuff. But if they ask for any of it, you have to give it to them. So that's why Jomez and whoever is probably all like DGN cameras, and then they just license the footage to Jomez to use, who they paid for the licensing. I remember like maybe last year's like a 3-year, $500,000 deal. Don't quite remember all the details. Not quite. So it seemed like that's potentially the first stages of consolidation, where now they just need to own the media organizations so they can put out content that better reflects what's actually happening in the tournament. Because the lead card is not reflecting who's in the lead in the tournament anymore. Today's the first day that I've been sweating and playing Denver disc golf. Kind of got to get low. No, just go through this gap, dude. What are you talking about? All right, 360 feet, all the way down there, straight in the field. Probably gonna be a strike. We have a slight tailwind, so just like that 7-speed fairway. Oh, that's a phone. But I think a lot of these are the reasons why right now I think live is the best way to consume disc golf media. Even if it's not the best coverage that's out there, I think just because 3 out of the 4 last Elite Series tournaments, the winner hasn't been on Jomez. It's been on Gatekeeper Media from the Chase card. Kind of a reason why you should be watching live disc golf, but I understand that that's not the reality for everybody. And live isn't even perfect by any means. Oh yeah. And honestly, that's like the first reason why I don't think Jomez is dead or even dying. Live coverage yesterday for the final round of an Elite Series tournament had 3,600 viewers consistently. I watched basically the whole entire round, and it basically didn't waver from about 3,600 people. And Jomez, I think, averages over 100,000 viewers. So that alone is the reason why Jomez isn't going anywhere. But that doesn't mean that the Disc Golf Network and the Pro Tour can't make it more difficult in the future. But we have to talk about the platform that DGN is on right now, because the Disc Golf Network, I'm pretty sure, uses Vimeo as their like service provider, and that is not ideal. Every single time that there is a round that's on YouTube, which right now is just the first round, I've always watched the YouTube version. Someone is throwing on me. The main reasons for that are, first off, Vimeo just sucks for options when watching it. You basically can only watch what is exactly live at that moment, and sometimes that's nothing because it crashes, which we'll get to in a second. But that means that you can't pause. Well, you can pause, but when you unpause, it's just gonna go back to whatever live, and you can't rewind at all. And so a lot of times, like yesterday, I was like doing laundry, cleaning the kitchen, and I was listening to DGN, and it was on my computer in my office, and there'd be something like, oh my gosh, this was crazy. Like the announcers would say something really cool was happening. I would just be like, well, looks like I'm not seeing that. And sometimes it's from like the second or third or fourth card, which a lot of times is one of the benefits of DGN, is they're able to get all these really cool moments, like at Waco when Jared Stoll threw that like 400 to 500 foot tomahawk over all the trees on that 600 and something foot par 417, but you're not able to go back and rewind that at all. And it's just like, how is that not a function that is on something that I'm paying for in 2023? Like, that's very frustrating. On top of that are the outages. Ooh, slight headwind, 440-ish foot par 4, slightly downhill there. So probably gonna turn my slightly more stable EchoStar Destroyer. Not stable Destroyer, but try to get it down there. My wrist thing is still here, but coach told me to play through it unless it's painful. Just uncomfortable, not painful, so he said I'm good. Oh, actually that's gonna work out really well. That thing has more stability than I gave it credit for. Oh, that's a bomb. Jeez, I love that disc. And one more, baby. Oh, we're gonna go the heat. Go in, maybe? That was sick. But this I thought was a little bit embarrassing yesterday for the Disc Golf Network, because I was watching coverage, Gannon tees off on hole 14. They're talking about how important this shot is, because it is an important tee shot for him. He's on lead card, so Jomez will get this. But right now, I think Calvin Heimberg, who's on Chase, is in the lead. Simon Lozada's making a push from the Chase card, and he throws the shot, and it just like stops. And then it stops for like 10 minutes. And then when it comes back, it's just ads. Also, why are there so many ads on DGN for a service that I pay for? And why, when it's only the paid version of DGN, are there ads for the paid version of DGN? Everyone's already paying for it. Why are you filling ad space with that when you could be filling more shots? I don't understand DGN. What the heck? But that ends up happening. It comes back to like 6 minutes of ads. Like, hey, sorry that we missed it or whatever. But I watched, because you can see the live coverage numbers. The live viewers went from 3,600 when it went out. And when it came back, it was 4,500. But that means either one of two things. One, DGN had to stop coverage because there were an additional 900 people who came on. Terrible. Or the slightly better, they had like 2,000 or 3,000 people come in, which still isn't that many. That brings it to like, what, 5,000 concurrent viewers? Obviously, I don't know any of this stuff. I know that they're doing their best, but that doesn't mean that you can excuse them just because they're doing their best from providing you a product that you pay for. But that's best case scenario. Like, that's just not good. And it's understandable why it's not being adopted as much as I think it should be, because live, I think, is just a better product to watch in general. But the VOD, we'll get to the VODs in a second. About 300 feet. This says 300, it's probably like 290 something. But I aced it last time I was here with the reactor, so we're gonna go Pathfinder. Ace it again, why not? Oh, a little deep with the pathy. And those live viewership numbers also bring me to FPO live viewership numbers, because honestly, I was surprised at how comparable it's been. Like within 1,000 of last day coverage for FPO and MPO, it seems like both are hovering around the 4,000 mark. I imagine majors will get better, so hopefully Champions Cup goes up a little bit. Viewership has gone down as the weather has gotten better, which makes sense because Saturday, Sunday, people are gonna be out playing disc golf instead of wanting to watch it as much. It needs more time to be adopted well, and they just need a little bit more funding and a little bit better coverage for people to actually want to adopt it. And one other thing that I think they might be able to pull that will help them to take over a lot of Jomez market share right now. And that's essentially the fact that DGN still basically holds a lot of the rights to when post-production can be consumed or like put out. And right now it's still next day. It's the same day for FPO on Jomez, which is awesome. Also, big shout out to Hot Geese, really great commentary team for the FPO. Big ups to Jomez to actually bring them over from GK or wherever they were last season. But one thing that DGN can potentially do is they can make it so Jomez doesn't put out coverage same day or next day, maybe makes them wait a week. And since it's a live sport, but if that happens, they might subsume a lot of that audience that Jomez has. But that doesn't mean that there's not a place for Jomez, even if that does happen. And I don't think that the viewership will drop as dramatically as some people might think. We're gonna go pure, just over 300 feet into a headwind. Maybe we should go Pathfinder, but I like this pure play. Slight hyzer. Wow, that thing is so stable. I mean, it's more of a mid-range. I mean, it is right down there, but still. Pathfinder. The first and biggest reason for all this is that Jomez makes it really nice for you to be able to watch your favorite player throw every single shot from a tournament. And it's really nice because it helps people like me who do watch the live coverage go back and rewatch. Well, actually, Jomez doesn't do this. Gatekeeper does this because he went off the chase card. But since Simon wasn't really being covered until like hole 13 or 14, and then he ends up winning from the chase card and like birdies everything, I want to be able to go and watch his round and see what he does. And it's just fun to watch Simon because that man is amazing. But I'm able to do that because of post-production. I can go watch every single shot that he does as long as he's on one of the first two cards. These pures go too. I mean, this is like easy, 320. That's why I think I'm gonna throw pures and MVs this year, but we'll see as we dial in my bag a little more. Come on. I knew that was too much Anheuser out of my hand. This rock is new, I kind of like it. It's kind of a backstop too though. Hey, real quick before we finish up a lot of my thoughts, let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this just by liking the video. I think it'd be fun to give you more of my thoughts on a little more current topic, how I see tournaments shake out and like what my takeaways are from them. So if you want to see that a lot of weeks at their events and just like we play a chill round and chat about something, honestly, this is very much Broderick style. If you haven't checked out Broderick, I'll leave him linked up in the cards in one of these corners. He's one of my buddies. He's a good dude, so definitely check out his content. And I asked him if I could rip him off. He said, hell no, but I said, screw you. I'm a bigger channel anyway, so it doesn't matter. If you believe that, please go touch grass. The second thing that I think Jomez does really well, and Gatekeeper, and basically all these channels, especially like Disc Golf Guy who produces a lot of coverage that's not on the Pro Tour right now, like Third on the Mountain where Paul just won a couple weeks ago, is there a phenomenal archive of footage to go back through if I haven't posted a video in a day and you want to go watch something. No, but in all seriousness, the archive value is so much better than the VODs from the live streams that the Disc Golf Pro Tour puts out. Because unfortunately, as of right now, which I don't think this will be the case in the future, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, basically the only value that I see different between the live and the post-produce, or the reason that you'd watch the live over the post-produce, is the fact that it's live. It's not good enough coverage in and of itself to make you not want to watch Jomez or a Gatekeeper. If you want the highest quality, definitely go to those. But if you want the best storylines and the best way to, I think, consume disc golf media, live is probably still where it's at. Man, I wish the glitch didn't go so far. Well, I just wish it went in the basket, actually. Maybe I should blame my aim. 210, slight headwind, just over the hill there. Maybe a little forehand with the swirly soft zone. Shout out Andrew Presnell. Nice little Prezi ace. Prezi park job, dang it. But I think there is still a place that Jomez falls a little bit short in their coverage in the integration of the most important storylines when they're not able to fully cover it. I've seen them try this a couple different ways. Like I said, I haven't watched a lot of the most recent Jomez coverage because I've seen them sometimes do it where they'll add a little bit interspersed. And I've also seen it where they wait till the very end to talk about who actually won and show some shots from them. But I know they have to get that from like Gatekeeper Media or whoever is covering that. And so I think that can be one place where the DGN really helps out is in making a better integrated product if they're able to consolidate all these media organizations. I know Broderick calls these PGs, but since this is a Presnell park job, should it be a PP? Glitchy ace, 160 feet, get the second one in a week.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was in, bro. That was
Me too. Oh gosh, that's camera. Luckily not. 205 feet with a glitch. Get back left. Glide in. Oh, that's so deep, never mind. Now that's the beauty of the glitch, is I thought that I had juiced this because I thought it was chain high when it passed. I just slowed down for a nice little park job. Now going back a little bit to the FPO disc golf side of things, last year, I'm pretty sure lead card of that was covered by GK Pro. Maybe it might've been Gatekeeper, not 1,000,000% sure. But I'm pretty sure GK Pro had some sort of media that was next day coverage. This year, they're not doing that. And I think that this could be a potential model for a Jomez or a GK Pro if the DGN decides to consolidate all of that and not let them do next day. This is about 250 feet, perfect little glitch ace. Oh, that's gonna be out of bounds, sit down. Hit the rock, dang it. But GK Pro is really leaning into skins, which is what really brought them a lot of notoriety last year. Big money skins was kind of notoriety in the wrong direction. But this year they've really doubled down on skins and little side games, and I think some practice rounds as well. Because I think they might have seen that their skins maybe did as good, if not better. They're a little more fun to produce. They also probably got a little bit better monetization on the back end, not just on YouTube AdSense, because they have a little bit better sponsorship opportunities there, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 1,000% sure. Don't try to ace run the island hole by throwing super high with a very glidey disc. Note to self. But them going all in on that means that they're not doing any coverage this year post-production. But if they end up not being able to do next day post, they might have some more games that we'll be able to see that'll probably just add to the total media ecosphere. So ecosystem. So I'm not 1,000% sure what that'll look like. That's a potential benefit, but it also could be bad for the people who just want to go play disc golf on the weekend and get their post produced the next day. Oh gosh, Anthony. So, is Jomez dead? I would probably say no. Well, I wouldn't probably say no. I would definitely say no. Is Jomez dying? Good height, dude. Come on. Just let me get an ace. Is it really that hard? Oh! I'd also say probably not to is Jomez dying. But is there the potential that like the groundwork could be laid that Jomez as we know it might not be what will be around in the next 2 years? I'd say probably. If there's more interest in disc golf and more money in disc golf, there's probably gonna be more consolidation, for good or for bad. But I would also say that if Jomez was to die, it wouldn't be that it would just like go away and like Jonathan Gomez and the other stakeholders wouldn't get value from it. I'm sure that they would get a fair value from what they have, but it would just morph into something else, probably still under the Jomez name because that name holds a lot of weight in disc golf. Here, let me ace real fast first time with the glitch 222. Oh, such a good shot though. But I think we could see a very different Jomez and potentially very soon if this year continues to have more and more chase card victories. They'll need to adapt to that because they're not filming the winners of the tournaments. And that's the whole point that they paid $500,000 to do. Really appreciate you guys listening to my musings and ramblings about the state of disc golf right now and coverage. Hopefully it just continues to get better and better. And this is just a part in that growing process, which leads to just a lot more money in the sport, as well as more eyeballs on the sport, which brings in more money. If you want to check out a video like this about the FPO, check it out on my second channel, Bedanzas Bogeys, right down here. Otherwise, check out my Cloudmaker review, because that is a really good overstable disc. Thank you so much, Flippy Disc Golf, for sponsoring this video. You guys have been a massive help to me in growing the channel. Jonathan, if you're watching this, Jonathan Gomez, really love everything that you do. Okay, love you, Jonathan. Bye.